everyone, it's Holly. In this video today, I'm going to be making another autumn themed soap. It's going to have pure pressed apple juice in it. You know, I've made a lot of soaps with cider before. This one is just a pure pressed honey crisp apple. Oh, it's going to be so good. I'm also going to add in some colloidal oatmeal. I'm going to add in goat milk. I'm going to add in honey. This soap is going to be just the bomb. The scent on this one is going to be a mix of a very typical oatmeal milk and honey fragrance, but I'm also going to add a little honey apple into it. It's my own blend. I had the bottles. They were smelling so good together. I was super excited about this blend. So I can't wait to make this soap. So I'm going to get all geared up and I will see you back here in just a moment. All right, so this soap has a lot going on. So let's just get right to it. The first thing I want to do is add in the oatmeal. I'd like to break this up a little bit, so I guess I need to grab a spoon. I want this spatula at the end to clean up, so I will just do that. So I don't often use colloidal oatmeal, but I decided I wanted to add some in this batch today. Thought that would be super nice. I bought some to start making the bath salts again. We all like those quite a bit. This is my last batch of the day, and my sleeves are getting a little soapy, and cold process fresh soap on clothes on cloth turns it black. So that's not a lot of fun that I just did that, but at least it protected my arm. So that's the important part. This is my base oils. I have olive, coconut, cocoa butter, and castor oil is my standard recipe. Due to supply situations, I'm adding in some avocado and some shea butter. Not anything I haven't done before. So I know we like it. I just have to make some adjustments while supplies are excessively expensive. I'm going to save this because I need it for my lye solution as well. Let's go ahead and blend this in. As it would turn out, my refrigerator decided it identifies as a freezer, and so it froze my goat milk. So I am using goat milk powder today, but goat milk powder is, do we trust me to do this without making a mess? I wish I had a bigger container. I could actually add in this other stuff. It does usually go better if you have a big enough container, but I did not. So I'm adding in my goat milk now. That's fun. Don't you just love those things? The oily bloblays. They keep working their way up. As long as I'm blending, I'm going to add in the apple juice. And this is just 100% pure honey crisp apple juice. It's almost like a cider, and it's not like the clear apple juice that we get sometimes. Oh, so good. Not only is it fun, but it also is going to bring some sugar to the batch. That's going to be amazing soap. So now I'm going to put in the lye solution, and it is quite reduced with water to accommodate all of the other things that we have added in. So I do have some L Lint in it, and that's just a reaction with the sodium hydroxide with the carbon dioxide in the air, which creates sodium carbonate. It's natural, it's normal, If it was a fresh light solution like made today, I would go ahead and put it in, but since I made it last night, so it would be plenty cooled off, I do want it to go, to be pulled out. I don't want it to go in. I want it to be strained out. Just on the off chance it's a little too crunchy to disperse, we don't risk it having, you know, like these little lye spots. Now the measuring cup that had the apple juice in it also had some diluted honey in it, so yay. So you might be asking how I can get away putting in all this stuff. Well, just like a full goat's milk soap or full milk soap would be, the process of making soap alone in essence preserves everything. So as long as it's made well, everything is fine. There's just, you know, usage rates and stuff to pay attention to. Alright, so now I'm going to add in the fragrance oil, which is just this amazing apple, oat milk, and honey blend. So good. And this could definitely be a year-round fragrance. It certainly doesn't have to be a fall fragrance. So I do want to pour some off. Oh my gosh, this is heavy. I don't know why that seemed heavier than the last batch I just did, but okay. So into this main pot, I'm going to add some honey blush mica. I thought that would kind of bring in that kind of like a tannish, slightly pink look. I thought that would be nice. The oatmeal milk and honey fragrance does discolor, but it's only part of the batch, so we'll just have to see what happens. If it's still discolored like my oatmeal milk and honey, I would be happy. This is just some white mica. I'll tell you one thing, I do have a big mess to clean up today. After making autumn berry soap, and I made some sea salt soaps. There is a mess around here. Oh yes, this is going to be delightful. Just kind of swoosh it up on the edges to catch some of that uncolored from when there was more soap in the pot and from the pour. Oh, it smells just amazing. So I do want to give this a bit of a blend still. I'm at a light trace here, where the soap is, I should say. I'm trying to decide how I want to finish this. Do I want to do it in the pot swirl? I think I kind of do want to do it in the pot swirl. I think that would be really nice. So for that, I'm going to, I have a lot going on here, feels like. I'm going to pour high and low. I'm going to go ahead and scrape this whole pitcher. This just feels like such a classic design. Just comforting, classic for this particular soap. Bring in the old mold here. And in it goes. Just gonna let it flow for right now. Now I'm gonna move as it gets a little bit lighter. Oh my gosh. I feel like I about tipped it over, about lost it. This is going to be a very fine swirl, and I think that's going to be great. I don't know why, this just made me think of back in the olden days when I was fairly new soap maker. I used to love to watch an Australian soap maker. And now I can't think of what her business name was. But that was awesome. She was like an epic scraper of the pot. I remember that part. She had this like whole thing going on. Okay, so I think I'm just gonna leave it as is. I really like how it looks with the drizzle. We have a little bit of the darker colored soap drizzled right through there, but I think it'll be fine. I think that's gonna look cool on the individual bars. It just has a nice color. I'm really pleased with this batch. I think it's just going to be the most comforting and good for the skin soap ever. I am going to spritz this with some alcohol, cover it, let it saponify, solidify, do its thing, and I'll be back in a few days to give it a cut. Okay, so let's cut this Apple and Oats soap. Oh, it turned out so good. I'm so pleased with it. And the scent is exactly what I wanted it to be for this one. It's just the creamy oatmeal milk and honey with some just honey apple crisp. Oh, it's so good. And I tell you what, my skin is comforted just thinking about using this soap bar. With the oatmeal and the goat milk and the honey. Oh, so good. And then we have the cider, or I guess it wasn't cider, the apple juice. I could not find cider this time of year this summer, but it's really good apple juice. So we're very excited about that. So we can see the discoloration. I guess if you could see it better if I actually put it towards you. So right here is where there's discoloration. Well, here too. So just right in here is just kind of like some creamy yellow that needs to tone down into more of this reddish color. Now, I was a little bit nervous there for a while because my batch was bright yellow. It was pretty bright. And I was like, oh no, what are you doing? I did not anticipate that happening, but it was just part of the process and it toned down and now it is just, it's spectacular. It's so very good. I think you're going to love this variation on my oatmeal milk and honey. Now this last time that I made it, I called it sweet milk because I typically make this one vegan and it does not have any oatmeal. It doesn't have, I mean, that's not the vegan part, but no honey and no animal milks and no colloidal oatmeal either. But this time I added all the things. So it's a similar scent with that happy apple added to it. It's perfect. Oh, I'm just looking at this topper. It's got a drippy top. Isn't that funny? That it almost looks like it has this health issues, but oh, that's kind of cool. I might have to keep that one for myself actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why do I do this? It's not that big of a deal. So I don't know, you could tell some of the discoloration just by the intensity of whatever the honey blush was coming off of the end. Anyway, a little different colors there. It'll be fun to see how this one, I guess put that over, does its thing. Look at this swirl, isn't that pretty? Gorgeous. You can see that discoloration. I waited a little bit longer to cut these than I intended to. I came out to cut them one day and I was already a little behind at that point. And then I was afraid of that. And I went and moved something on one shelf that was bugging me. And the next thing I know, it was like 3 days of just overhauling my workshop. I haven't had it that long. I haven't even been in it for a year yet. But things were bugging me and my flow wasn't there, and I don't know that I still love it. I'm going to have to work with it for a little while and see what I think, but it definitely is going to work for now. We finally got the sink replaced. I was not loving the sink that I had. I haven't really liked it from the beginning, and of course there was that huge fiasco. It was my third sink to actually arrive, and as my husband was pulling it out, the welding snapped on the leg. So who knows how much longer it was gonna last me anyway. So I do believe that sink deserves about maybe 1 star. I mean, it got its job done, but not well. And so my replacement sink is quite a bit smaller. I think it's really snazzy looking. And it's from, we found it at Costco this winter. I'm gonna have to go crossways here for a moment. I blocked myself. Anyway, I bought it at Costco. It's just a really nice stainless steel. And it actually has a very nice faucet and updated plumbing, because that other commercial kitchen one had plumbing from ages ago. So my husband was quite happy to upgrade the plumbing on that one. I'm getting closer to being able to do a tour. I have to wait for it to get hot or weird weather for my husband to have time to come in here to do some of these things. So it was really hot this past weekend, so that's why I was able to get a sink moved forward. But we still have just a little bit left to do, and I'm really excited to give you a tour, but I just really want it to be just right before I do. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please give it a like and leave me a comment. I love chatting with you. Check out the description for the availability of this soap and more, and I will talk with you later.